you for the first super chat. Thank you. Leaving home to go to college in about 2 weeks. Do you have any tips on being a functional adult? Ooh.
A few moments later.
Tips on being a functional adult. When I was once a functioning adult, which was once in my life, honestly, for me, I had a calendar that I followed to like a T when it came to things that were important. Like when I lived in Japan, I had like a calendar that I followed to a T when it came to things that I guess people don't want to do. So like I would have a specific day that I would always dedicate to doing all of my laundry at the same time every week, so that I knew at that time, on that day, I would be doing laundry. You know, and if like someone wanted to go out that day at that time, then I could just do it the next day. But I had like a physical calendar. I held it. I even put it digitally too. I had it in my bag, and I had it in my... I had like a digital calendar that I always carry, that I always like slot in important things. So like if you need to buy... I think it's good to just... I think it's good like when you have... For example, you're at school, you're going to college, so you'll have like a set schedule of what your life is going to be for the next... I guess it depends on what kind of schooling system it is, semesters or whatnot. But because you'll have already like a concrete schedule of like what you're doing every single week at exactly the same time, because you go to the same classes every single week at the same fucking time, it's easy to slot in things like that because you're already living on a routine. And I think it's easier to do those kinds of things like on the weekdays too. Like if you have like an earlier class one day, you should just take the afternoon or the evening to do shit that you don't want to do, so that your weekends are free, bitch. You can do whatever you want, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then on the weekdays, you just take care of all the shit you don't want to do. You do your laundry, you do your grocery shopping, you do all that stuff. And then bam, the weekend, you're free because you got all your shit done in the week. That's what I used to do. I don't follow that anymore. But when I like worked and I had the same thing every single day and I had a consistent schedule, that's what I did. So that's my advice, is like, just make, if you want like help being consistent, it's all like, make a calendar. Google Calendar works really well. I really love Google Calendar. That's what I use right now for every single fucking thing that I do in my life. My Google Calendar is my lifeline in this company. Like every single meeting, every single deadline, every single anything that I do, anything is slotted into my Google Calendar. And it's so helpful. So if you have things, use a calendar. It's also good for like homework deadlines too. Homework deadlines especially, if you, because like, you know, we're all human. We're all people. Well, I'm not a human, sadly, but you know, we all got brains at least. And sometimes those brains don't work. And you forget. And that can't be helped. We all forget things. I forget things like 50 times a day. But at least in the calendar, you can throw it in there. And even if it's the night before, you'll be like, oh fuck, I got homework due tomorrow. At least you'll do it that night instead of going to class the next day being like, oh shit, there was an essay due today? Fuck. But yeah, that's my advice. Sorry I talk so much.